YouTube, Joey Musselman back here with Game Sense. Got a little recap for you from Saquarema today. Had some good matches, one notable upset, pretty bummed about, but we'll get there. Alrighty, so today started off with qualifiers. The one surprise here is that Sacher Pickett was into that Brazilian team. Really, that Canadian team was performing well. They beat Shock and Shaw in qualifiers, so I was looking forward to seeing them. I know Vinicius and Haytor down at the bottom there. I've seen them in a tournament before. Cradiger and Dillier dropping one to De Geef and Gannett is surprising. You'll see that in a sec. And honestly, Nicolaidis and Caricature losing one too. Also surprising because both those teams performed really well today. Also, check out that Belgian team there. We're about to hear some more about them. And Waller Pristhouse lost one too. Interesting. Lots of three setters here in the qualifiers. Yeah. So on to pools. So we now have our pools filled in. We've got the Argentinian team there in Pool A, the Belgian team in B, which is really turning into some killers there. Pool C, we've got a Brazilian team. We got the Australian team there in D, another Brazilian team in E, and that last Brazilian team there in F. So yeah, let's go through this. Matches today, like you might expect, Young Sweden sweeping the team from qualifiers 2-0, 21-12, 21-14, easy money. This one was a surprise. Dabas and I fought against Nicolaidis and Caricature. I keep on saying Caricature. Carature? Um, yeah, I pushed them to 3 sets. I know yesterday we were talking about how Dabas and I might be a little bit overrated. This might be an indicator of that. We've got our Glicko here. Sorry, I didn't point that out, but Glicko telling us that's our rating system if you watched the first video. Anyway, so we're correct for those two. Mole and Sorum taking care of business. Closer than you might think, though. Got to 17 and 18. I watched a little bit of this match. They look fine. Nothing too crazy. Losiak and Brill, I watched this one. They cooked here. They were beating them up against a good team of Jordan Simon. So, um, good stuff from Poland. Gautier Raw and Rotar beating up on Evans and Budinger. Closer than you might expect. There was times when Evans and Budinger looked, especially in the first set, looked like they were going to win it and then just kind of choked. Some bad service errors and yeah, unfortunate there. But I mean, Rotar Gautier, really good team, so good showing from Evans and Budinger. Okay, so this is backwards because I'm pretty sure Kratinger and Dillier won this. What the heck? Yeah, they did. Huh, my sets are messed up. Anyway, Kratinger and Dillier won this. Super tight set. Good showing from both teams. Lots of back and forth. You see there in that second set. So it's close. So Switzerland kind of choked it in the first set, and then really hammered them hard in the second set. See that 21-13, and then very close in the last set. I think it might actually be different than that. I gotta check these stats. Threw this together pretty quick so that I could get it out tonight. First upset of the day, Codafava and Del Carso beat the Grimalt brothers. Good for them. They're coming off that win in that challenge event recently. So good for them getting the dub against a good Grimalt team. All right. Yeah, Vandro and Arthur beating the team from qualifiers. That's what you think from number 1 seed. Waller and Pristaus beating Mole and Bernstein. This Waller-Pristaus team is nasty. They are living up to the hype. They did well in the last tournament, and they're doing it again. So keep an eye out for them, making it through qualifiers and still put in work. Plavins and Folkerots getting the win. Good for them. I feel like I don't know, they're always in the main draw, but then when I watch them in like quarters and semis, they get beat up by one of the bigger teams. So hopefully we see some good stuff from them this tournament. Obviously, Plavins is a master shot maker. Folkerots hits ball hard, good blocker. I mean, Plavins is kind of the star there, old school dude putting in old school work. Amon and Helvig versus this Belgian team. I watched some of this one. This one was much closer than I thought it would be. I think it's the blocker for the Belgian team has a nasty serve. Yeah, so keep an eye out for them moving forward in Pool B. This is the upset that I mentioned earlier. I really thought Crabb and Benesh were going to do some work here, but Andre and Renato just kind of just beat him. I watched this whole thing and it was kind of just close the whole time. I remember in the last set there was just like one or two rallies that the U.S. just like really needed to win and ended up not getting. And I think at the end of the day, sometimes it just comes down to like those long rallies. Whoever takes it, just such a momentum swing and a point swing. Hard to come back from that. But hey, best case scenario, this is Crabb and Benesh getting a wake up call. The Brazilian team in Brazil is always hard to beat. So hopefully it's a wake up call. See some more good stuff from them this tournament. But U.S. teams 0-2 on the day. All right, on to tomorrow. We've got Amon and Helvig against Andre and Renato. So we will see if Andre and Renato can bring what they brought to the U.S. team, and maybe they're just sick with it and they're just doing really good, and they might take a shot at Amon and Helvig, who showed today that they are at least vulnerable to a Belgian team that I've never heard of who came through qualifiers. Maybe I'm just out of the loop. Davos and IA versus George and Saint-Mon. I'll keep an eye on Davos and IA, hoping to. This Glicko says that this one's pretty close, but we shall see who wins this one. Vandro and Arthur versus Katafava and this Italian team. We'll see if that Italian team can keep their momentum against number one seed. We got Nielsen and Anderson versus Evans and Buttinger. Nielsen and Anderson Holting Nielsen and Anderson losing last week 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago to Crabb and Benesh. So interesting to see how this U.S. team does against them. Mullen Sorum versus Cradiger and Dillier. Cradiger and Dillier looking good. I know that it's saying that they beat Amon and Helvig before, but I double checked that it was a tournament where they forfeited, so not actually. We got bad data there, my bad. But Cradiger and Dillier looking good, so we'll see how Mullen Sorum do. And then Waller and Pristaus versus Plavins and Folkerots. Likely whoever wins that is going to win the pool, so that'll be a good match to see how this new pairing of Waller and Pristaus performs against the solid team of Plavins and Folkerots. Alrighty, that's all we got for tonight. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If I said something wrong, let me know in the comments. Peace out.